Hello and welcome. If you're building a career in hospitality, you are going to face guest complaints. It's really not a matter of if, but how you handle them. And believe me, that one skill can pretty much define your entire career.
I'm a specialist in modern hotel operations, and I am absolutely thrilled to welcome all of you from Europe Hotel School. In this session, we're going to break down how to turn those really challenging moments with guests into your greatest professional strength. Okay, let's dive right in.
So let's start with this really powerful idea. Look, in our industry, problems are going to happen. It's inevitable. But it's how you respond that really matters. A well-handled complaint, it doesn't just fix a problem. It can actually turn a really negative experience into powerful, lasting guest loyalty.
So here's our game plan. First, we're going to completely reframe what a complaint really is and start seeing it as an opportunity. Then we're going to get inside the guest's head, to really understand their perspective. From there, I'll walk you through a super practical 5-step process for resolving any issue, and then we'll see how that whole process builds incredible loyalty.
Okay, first things first, we need a mental shift. Most people, when they hear a complaint, they see it as a failure, right? A sign that something went terribly wrong. But the best in the business, they see it as a moment of truth, a rare chance to show a guest just how much you really care.
And that's the crucial point. Think about it. When everything is going perfectly, your service is kind of invisible, isn't it? It's only when there's a problem that you get to step up and be a hero. This is where you don't just save a guest's stay, you actually earn their trust for life. All right, to really handle a complaint well, you have to understand its anatomy. It's never just about a cold steak or a slow check-in. We need to look deeper into the gap between what a guest was hoping for and what actually happened.
At the heart of every single complaint is this thing called the expectation gap. It's that space between what a guest expected and what they actually got. That's it. Our entire job in service recovery is simply to find a way to bridge that gap.
And this is such a crucial distinction. On one side, you've got the operational problem, a mistake, a delay, whatever it is. But on the other side, you have the emotional reaction. And you absolutely have to address the emotion first. Before they care about a solution, they need to feel heard, respected, and understood.
So, how do we do that? Especially when we're under pressure? Well, you use a process. Think of this as your 5-step toolkit for turning a really difficult situation into a win.
These 5 steps are listen, empathize, clarify, resolve, and follow through. And they're designed to work in this specific order, moving from understanding the person and their feelings to actually fixing the problem. So let's break down each one.
Step 1 is the foundation. Listen. And I don't just mean waiting for your turn to talk. I mean giving that guest your absolute undivided attention. Don't interrupt, let them get it all out. Even a simple phrase like, "Thank you for bringing this to my attention," can immediately show that you're on their side.
Next up, empathy. And this is a subtle but really critical point. Empathy isn't about saying, "You're right, we completely messed up." It's about saying, "I understand why you feel that way." It's about acknowledging their frustration or their disappointment and just validating it before you do anything else.
See, empathetic phrases, they build the bridge. They de-escalate the whole situation and show you're working together. But defensive phrases, like, "Well, that's our policy," they just build a wall. They make the guest feel invalidated and will escalate the conflict almost every single time. So once you've made that emotional connection, it's time for step 3, clarify. This is where you ask those calm, respectful questions to understand exactly what happened. This isn't an interrogation, right? You're working with them to piece together the full story so you can find the right solution.
And now we're at step 4, resolution. The key word here is to be realistic. Never, ever overpromise just to make the guest go away. Instead, offer fair, transparent solutions. And whenever you can, give them a choice. This really empowers them and makes them feel like part of the solution, not just a victim of the problem.
And finally, the step that so many people forget, follow through. A promise is only as good as its delivery, right? You have to make sure the solution you agreed on is implemented, and fast. A quick call or a message later to confirm everything's been resolved, that shows true professionalism and it completely rebuilds trust.
So when you master these 5 steps, you're not just putting out fires anymore. You're actually using service recovery as a powerful strategic tool to build some serious, unbreakable customer loyalty.
And this brings us to a fascinating, kind of counterintuitive question. Just think about it for a second. Is it possible for a guest who had a problem
to become even more loyal than a guest who had a totally perfect, flawless stay?
Well, the answer, amazingly, is yes. It's something called the service recovery paradox. When you expertly turn a negative situation into a positive one, you show a level of care that a flawless experience just can't. You prove to that guest that you have their back, even when things go wrong. And that builds a kind of loyalty that is incredibly powerful.
But wait, there's another huge benefit here. Complaints are basically free consulting. They are priceless data that show you exactly where the gaps are in your service, in your operations, or maybe in your team's training. If you stop seeing complaints as problems and start seeing them as feedback, they become your single best tool for getting better every single day.
Okay, so let's bring it all home and recap the key to excellence when you're handling any guest issue.
This right here is the blueprint. It's a cycle that moves from that human connection to practical problem solving, and it builds lasting trust every step of the way. If you can master this, you'll master guest relations.
So I'll leave you with this final thought. You will face complaints in your career. That is a guarantee. The only question is, what are you going to do with them? Will you see them as a threat? Or will you see them as your single greatest opportunity to learn, to improve, and to create your most loyal advocates? The choice and the opportunity is yours. Thank you.